Om Sadashivasamārambhāṃ Śaṅkarācārya Madhyamāṃ Asmadācārya Paryantāṃ Vande Guru Paraṁparāṃ. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryankaravāvahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishāvahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vedo Nityamadhiyatam Taduditam Karmasvanushఠīyatam Teneshasya Vidhiyatam Apachiti Kamye Matistyajyatam Papaughav Parithuyatam Bhavasukhe Doshonusandhiyatam Atmecha Vyavasiyatam Nijagrihatunam Vinirgamyatam. So we were looking at the first verse of the Sadhana Panchakam, where Śaṅkarācārya is giving us a step-by-step progression in life to attain moksha, okay, which is the Parama Purushartha. So for that, how do we start? He starts from the student life onwards, Brahmacharya. In fact, here he is talking about the ashrama dharma. Each ashrama, what one has to do. Of course, the Varna Dharma also is included in that. But even certain things are common. Ashrama Dharmas are there, whichever Varna you may belong to. So Śaṅkarācārya is addressing that here. So first is Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. So you have to every day do Adhyayana of the Veda. In fact, yesterday I explained in detail what is involved in the Veda Adhyayana. Correct? I told you that Veda Adhyayanam means you have to memorize the entire Vedic chanting, but you also have to study all the Veda Anga. The Shad Angas are there, then only you can understand the Veda properly. And then further, you have to also study the Veda Bhashyam and Mimamsa. By studying all that only, you will know exactly what Veda is asking you to do, all the karma which are vihita or which are mandated in the Veda. So that's what Acharya here says, Taduditam karma. So whatever karma which has come from the Veda, that we have to do. Swanushఠīyatam means you actually do anushtana of that, you do properly. Anushthanam. Swanushṭhanam means you do all that is to be done properly, whatever is given in the Veda. And also what is the attitude you should have while doing the karma anushthanam. It is not for karma phala. Teneshasya vidhiyatam means you offer it to Bhagavan. You do it with Ishwararpana buddhi. You do it as a participant in Ishwara's order. And that's how you can overcome your likes and dislikes. You can become a master of your own likes and dislikes. So you have to offer it to Ishvara. Whatever is to be done, you do, but you offer the phala to the Ishvara, or you accept whatever phala which comes as Ishvara prasada. Again, you do only the Vihita karma or Nitya karma. The Veda actually has many more karma, because it is generally addressing everybody who has desires to be fulfilled. Only very few people really question, why do I even have a desire, or why I am a wanting person and all that. Most people just go through their lives just by taking themselves for granted. But for them also Veda has something, because at least they have to achieve their desires through dharma. Right? They should not become adharmis. So for that, Veda is again actually giving them many sadhanas, whatever may be the sadhya, correct? Whatever may be the end they want, they desire, they want to achieve. For that, Veda is giving you different sadhanas. But a Vedantin need not do all those optional kamya karma. So kamye matis tejyatam. So you give up your attachment or longing for all the kamya karma. Then papaughav paridhuyatam. So aughaha means, I told you, it is a group or a bundle or whatever, accumulated papa. Basically, papa also is accumulated, correct? So much accumulated papa is there. Again, papa is again a reference to your likes and dislikes only. Because how did you gain papa? Because you did the things, wrong things because of your likes and dislikes, correct? So once you are free from your likes and dislikes only, you are actually free from papa also in one way. But still, this human life itself is a Mishra life, I told you. It is both based on both Papa and Punya. So every day also we do karma to clean up all this Papa, remove this Papa, so that we don't want any unpleasant experience. Even a Mumukshu does not, you don't have to go in search of anything unpleasant, correct? That's not the idea. If you can avoid unpleasant experiences, you very well do that. There is nothing wrong. In fact, that's why we have daily prayers. In every Sankalpa also we say Mama Upatta Samasta Durita Kshayadvara. It is there. So we want to get rid of all the Duritas always. So this all these bundles of Papa, the accumulated Papa also, you clean up, you remove it, you resolve it, neutralize it. Okay, Paridhuyatam. And simultaneously, you also have to recognize that the worldly pleasures have their own limitations. They have their own defects. So bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam. So that also you have to reflect on that, so that you are not sucked into the worldly pursuits. You are not sucked into by your senses themselves, because senses by their very nature are always going after sense objects. That's how it is. In fact, Bhagavan has made us like that. Paranchikhanim yadrinat swayambhuhu parang pashyati nantaratman, like that. The Upanishad itself says that. So all the sense organs are going externally only. That is their nature. But whoever is a discriminative person, who is a dhiraha, that person actually goes in the reverse direction, correct? Not externally, but that person wants to know oneself, pursues the Atma. So kaschit dhiraha pratyegatmanam aikshate. So only some people are going after this inner self. They want to know themselves. They don't want to take themselves for granted. So for all that, again, Atmecha Vyavasiyatam, that also continues. So you see the defects in the external pursuits, and then you turn inward, correct? You go after this Atma Jnanam, and that also is that is the desire of the Mumukshu. You may ask, even that also is a desire, whether it is good or bad and all that. In fact, Moksha Icha has to be there. That is like the last desire, in fact. Like even they say that in the funeral fire also, the guy who is standing there, he has one stick finally with which he is actually controlling the fire, correct? Then finally he throws that stick also into the fire. Everything is burnt. Like that, this desire will lead you to desirelessness itself. That to discover yourself as someone who is not having any desire really. So Atma Icha Vyavasiyatam, and finally up to this we came, I think, in the last class. Nijagrihat Purnam Vinirgamyatam. Nijagrihat means from your own house. Turnam means as soon as possible, quickly, immediately. Vinirgamyatam means what, you leave your house. That means Shankaracharya is now moving to the next ashrama. Till now he was talking about doing karma with yoga buddhi, that is grihastha ashrama, correct? Vedo nityam adhiyatam is brahmacharya ashrama. Afterwards, whatever taduditam karma sanushtiyatam onwards, it is all grihastha ashrama, and how you have to do karma, what attitude you have to have, which karma you have to do, which karma you have to avoid, and what kind of attitude you have to have towards external pursuits. And finally, you have to pursue this Atma Jnanam alone. All that he has said. Once you have done all these things, you have done the duties in the Grihastha Ashrama, don't stick there. No, I want my grandson, and then again grandson's marriage, then great grandson, then no hope. Then next Janma. So what Shankara says, once you have done your duties, get out of the house. Or if you are not getting out of the house also, symbolically get out of the house means what? You hand over all responsibilities to the next generation. Let them make their own mistakes and learn and all that. You cannot be doing everything, even though they are your children. Everything you cannot do for them. They have to learn themselves certain things. That's how it is. So you have to have that detachment, a certain detachment where you hand over everything. Don't be like our politicians. Even at the age of 90, they want a cabinet ministry. They are fighting with each other and all that. Correct? They don't want to give up ever. In fact, one Malaysian prime minister, he became prime minister at the age of 92 or something. Correct? So like that, people don't want to give up easily. But don't be like that. You have to move to the next ashrama. So now Shankaracharya is saying, go nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyata means you give up your house or household duties at least. Even though you may be staying in the same house, maybe you withdraw to a separate room or something or whatever. You hand over symbolically all your responsibilities. Now your pursuits are going to be different because as a grihastha, karma is more. You had very little time for doing upasana or dhyana. Because the Grihastha dharma is like that, correct? The role of the Grihastha is that you have to do a lot more exterior work, and even the karma you are doing also, Vedika karma, etc., are all only the more kayikam, correct? It is all involving your bodily effort. It's not very easy to then focus inward or even keep your mind focused for a long time. Your mind also is tuned towards external objects only in the Grihastha ashrama. But still you do all the karma with yoga buddhi means you have gained chitta shuddhi. So the grihastha ashrama, what you gain? You have to gain chitta shuddhi by doing all your duties as a grihastha. That is the goal. That once you have achieved, then move to the next ashrama. In the next ashrama now, the vanaprastha ashrama, it is reverse. The karma is very less, but you have to do more upasana. You do more japa. Even you may be doing Gayatri Japa as a Grihastha, you will do maybe 30 to 108 maximum. In Vanaprastha, do Sahasra Gayatri every day. Things like that. Correct? You actually increase your mental activity more, reduce your physical activities, reduce your food also correspondingly. Otherwise, you will have such a big belly, you cannot sit for a long time in Upasana. Correct? That is also a problem. So, in fact, it is said that up to 32 years, you eat the food. Correct? After 32 years, food is only eating you, really. Because you get all kinds of diabetes, sugar, pressure, means food starts eating you. So, you have to have certain control over your diet also. Of course, some disciplined life is also required. There is no doubt about that. But food also one has to be controlled. So in the Vanaprastha ashrama, anyway, in those days, if you go to the Vana, your food choices also will come down drastically, correct? You cannot be eating like what you were doing in the Grihastha ashrama. So here you leave your house, okay, but then where do you go? Even though, of course, you are doing upasana and all that, but that cannot be 24 hours, correct? So after you leave your house and our household duties, first thing is you have to go and search for people who have similar interests, correct? Nowadays, even retirement communities are all coming. Those who retire also, they want to live in a place where they have people of similar interests. So otherwise, what will happen? You go with somebody else. The company decides a lot of things, right? What kind of company you have, depending on that, your activities, your pursuits, everything can change. So if still your mukshutvam is feeble, anybody can easily tempt you into doing something else. Some other pursuit you can take up, means then it can become a problem. In fact, that's why this materialists are called charuvaka. In our tradition, the darshanas there, correct? Charuvakaha. Why it is called Charu Vakaha? Charu means sweet, pleasing. Whatever they say is very pleasing because they say that Rinam Kritva Gritam Pibe. Take loan and drink ghee. Means don't worry about any means and all that. Even if you have to take loan, but just enjoy yourself as much as possible. Enjoy yourself here. Rinam Kritva Gritam Pibe. Basmi Bhutasya Dehasya Punaraganam Agamanam Kutaha. He says, once this Deha is gone, it's not going to come back. There is no more anything. So why are you doing all this karma and all that? There is no guarantee you will go to Swarga. But what this body is the reality, you have it now. So enjoy as much as possible. That is one kind of philosophy, correct? In fact, it is very attractive also. That's why it is Charu Vakaha. It is very attractive, very pleasing. Anybody can give such philosophy to you and try to tempt you. So what do we do? Sangasatsu vidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktir dridhadhiyatam shantyadih parichiyatam dridhataram karmashu santyajyatam sadvidvan upasrupyatam pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam brahmaikaksharam shruti shiro vakyam samakarnyatam. So after you take to Vanaprastha, he says Sangas Satsu Vidhiyatam. So Satsanga, basically. So you take to Satsanga, you resort to Sangha relationship or companionship with those who are Sat. Sat means here those who are also following this Satvastu or those who are sadhus, basically. In Bhajagovindam also, Śaṅkarācārya says that, correct? Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam and all that is there. Same thing. So you seek the company of fellow mumukshus or even company of jnanis, correct? Those who are santas, those who are jnanis, all these saints, their company you seek. So that whatever this fledgling mumukshutvam is there, it becomes stronger in the presence of such people because they are your inspirations. Because even for me, as I told you, Ramana was a great inspiration. He was not living, but it is as though I sought his company in the sense that his life was a great example to show us that you don't require anything really to be happy, correct? Ramana left his house when he was some 16 years or 14 years, I don't know. He was a teenager. He left and went to Tiruvannamalai. Then he was living there almost all his entire life. He was living within a radius of, you can say, some 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. He never left that mountain. Throughout he lived there. He had no possession, in fact. The last paisa he had also, he threw it into a well and he was sitting only with a kaupinam, essentially. So he did not own anything. In fact, he did not even seek any students or disciples and all that also. Even the ashram just came around him later on. Basically, he was there in one cave, he was sitting, and then other times he was sitting in the temple itself or somewhere else in Tiruvannamalai. But everybody whom we consider as successful, correct, in life, they all went to such a person. They are all saying, hey, Bhagavan, again, teach me, give me Shanti or whatever, correct? You have to only give us, you have to bless me and all. So what did he have that others did not have? Means that is something worth pursuing then, correct? That's what I thought. Even when I was working in US, this was a very powerful thought, because in your own thought experiment, you can see that whatever you may achieve in this world, it's not going to give you complete satisfaction, correct? You may be very wealthy, but you know very well that all wealthy people are not happy or contented. You may become very famous. All famous people are also not happy. In fact, most of them are unhappy, I think. They don't know even how to handle their fame. So they have a problem. Or you can become very powerful politician and all that. That also you see that they are also not always happy or contented. In fact, they are still clamoring for more power and all that. Or if they lose the power, they are unhappy. And all these people, wealthy people, famous people, powerful people, they are all going to Ramana, who has nothing from the materialistic standpoint, I'm saying. So that means what did he have then? At least that is worth pursuing, correct? These things are all we know for sure that it's not, there is no guarantee that these themselves are going to give you any lasting happiness or contentment. That is for sure, you know that. But then there is another person who is not having any of these things also, he is contented, happy. That also is there in front of you. Then from that only we can understand that whatever he has alone is worth pursuing. So that kind of a nishchayam has to come, but it may not come very easily for everybody. That's why again Sangha Satsu Vidhiyatam. Satsanga is very important, because from whom do you take inspiration is very important, correct? Otherwise your pursuits will become very different. It can become very different. So you take inspiration from our saints. All the jnanis in every generation, our country, we have had saints and jnanis and all these people are there. So, and reading even their stories and all is very inspiring, and so you have to do that. So that inspiration should come by having satsanga, and then also as a vanaprastha, what do you do means bhakti dridha adhiyatam. Dridha bhakti, firm, resolute. Bhakti here again means upasana only. Because as a vanaprastha, you may not be able to do any elaborate puja and all that, correct? But here it is more like dhyana based on it. The bhakti here is upasana. You do upasana of your Ishta Devata mostly, or any Devata, or it may be even your Kula Devata, like that. But you have to do more upasana, because the Vanaprastha ashrama is only for gaining chitta naischalyam, chitta ekagrata, correct? The one-pointedness of your mind. So you have to do whatever upasana you do that with bhakti. And also the Vanaprastha ashrama, again the obstacles and all may be there. You may not be having the same comforts anymore. Of course, a simplified lifestyle sometimes is better, but sometimes it may be like you are deprived. You may feel deprived of your comfort and all that. But even how do you overcome that? Bhakti alone is good enough. Understand that people do so many impossible things just with bhakti alone. See, recently last year I went to a trek to Agastya Malai. There is a hill called Agastya Malai in Kerala, or it is actually Kerala and Tamil Nadu border. It's not an easy trek, because you have to climb up 7 kilometers and quite steep, and in the end you have to climb by holding on to ropes and all that. And there were some old women who also came with us. Okay, they were all in their 50s. They were not very fit physically. You can see that actually. We all climbed that distance in some 2.5 hours. We were already, and you can reach there only, you have to reach there before 1 a.m. because you have to leave by 1 a.m. Nobody can be there in the peak after 1 a.m. because the climate and weather patterns are all very unpredictable in the hills. Suddenly it can rain, means it's very difficult to descend. So they always, the forest department people will clear you off by 12:45 only. They will say, come on, leave, and all that. But there is Agastya temple there. I don't know how they carried the Vigraha, because they have a huge Agastya Vigraha there, right on the peak, and there is a small shrine. And many people are very great devotees of Agastya there. So those women also, they were all bhakta. And somehow they reached. They started at 7. After some 5.5 hours, while we were leaving, they just reached. But they reached. And I thought it is only due to bhakti alone they reached. There is no other way they could have climbed, because I thought they will never make it. When I went near the last portion of that climbing is with all those ropes and all you have to hold and climb up, correct? I thought they will not make it. Maybe they will come up to that point and return, I thought. But they all made it. But hardly they had 5 minutes. But at least that 5 minutes they were able to spend there was a great thing. So bhakti, if you have, you can surmount anything. That is the great thing in our tradition. Like this, we see many places, correct? People walk in pilgrimage without any shoes and all that, correct? How they are able to do that, we don't. Or they have, even in Tamil Nadu, they do all sorts of things. They pierce this veil and all, they pierce. And in fact, they pierce it from their back and they drag a vehicle and all that. Things like that they do. It's all amazing. So with bhakti, you can do anything. You can surmount anything. Any difficulties may come to you also. It's nothing for you. So bhakti has to be there. And firm bhakti in Bhagavan. And then you do upasana also. So from that, what are you going to get? Means shantyadihi parichiyatam. So once you do upasana, once you have this drida bhakti, what are you getting? You are going to get the Samadhi Shatka Sampattihi. Shantyadihi here means the same Samadhi Shatka Sampatti only. Instead of Sham, here for the whatever the meter, he is using Shantyadihi instead of Samadhi. So the Shama or Shanti both mean the same thing. They come from the same dhatu with the same meaning. And Adi Padat, the Samadhi Shatka Sampattihi only you gain. You gain a certain disposition of mind by doing, already you have Chitta Shuddhi, now you have done Upasana means the Ekagrata also is there, means you have Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhana, correct? Of course, I have dealt in detail about this already. So Shama means a certain resolution of your mind itself. So you don't have any conflicts in your mind, you have a tranquil mind. But even if that is not possible, Dama is very important. That's where you start your practice, because you have to still express all your emotions through your Indriya properly. Even though you don't have Shama, Dama is something which you can aspire to and you have to practice. Then Uparama means you withdraw or cease from doing all Kamya Karma, all unnecessary activities. That is anyway part and parcel of the Vanaprastha also. Basically, you are retiring from most of the activities, or you take to sannyasa itself. Uparati can either mean sannyasa, or you have done karma phala tyaga and you have reduced most of your activities. Then titiksha means you should still bear whatever is there, heat or cold, all the circumstantial whatever disturbances may be there, you bear it cheerfully, right? So sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sadhitiksha nigadyate. So tolerating something means in Tamil we say palla kadichinde irka means like you bear something like this. That's not the idea. You bear with a certain understanding that all these things are only agama payinaha anityaha, like Bhagavan says in the Gita. They come and go. It's like that only. That is the nature. And you bear it without any resistance, without any complaints, and without blaming anybody else also. Otherwise, normally the tendency is any hardship you face, first thing is you are blaming somebody else. Even that a spiritual person, a mumukshu, cannot blame anybody. Everything you have to accept as your karma. Because if you are still blaming others and all that, it fundamentally goes against the vision of yourself, correct? The reality of the self itself. There is no point in blaming others. There are no others only, correct? Who are you going to blame? So the idea is that the titiksha is a very important thing. It may not come immediately, but it is something you have to aspire for. And you will cultivate it. It's again attitude only. There has to be cognitive change. There has to be insight which has to be repeated, and then it will come definitely. So you should be able to face any situation cheerfully, without any complaints, without blaming anybody. That is Titiksha. Then Shraddha, of course, we have been telling all the time, you should be able to give the status of a Pramana to our Veda, and that is how you learn. And Samadhana means your mind itself has now quietened so much that it is able to be in a certain flow, correct? That it resolves into the whatever you want to focus on. That one-pointedness is complete. That is Samadhanam. So Shantyadihi Parichiyatam. So you attain all this. Samadhi Shatka Sampattihi means now you have become qualified student, correct? And also once you have become like this, only you become fit for sannyasa also. Unless you have all these things, you are not sannyasa yogya. If you are ayogya and take to sannyasa, what will happen? Bhagavan says, sannyasa stu mahabhaho khamaptu ayogataha. It will be only dukkha. So for the person who is not fit, who do not have all these qualities, sannyasa will become only dukkha. But even for the one who has done karma palatyaga, even though he may not take the sannyasa ashrama, for him the griha itself is ashrama or tapovan. So nivritta, the one who has nivritti, for whom even though he may be in the house, for him the house itself is a tapovanam or ashrama, like that there is a saying. Similarly, the one who is into pravritti, even if that person goes to an ashrama, ashrama becomes griha for that person. Okay, because he is still thinking about, or if he takes sannyas also, it is difficult. In fact, the one Swami used to be there when we were in US. We used to go to Chimya Mission there in the New Jersey area. There was one Swami there. He was a Malayali. So he used to say about sannyasa and all, we will be discussing. He says, see, if you are not ready, it is like E Shramatil irunda A Shramatil you will go. Like from this Shrama, you will go to that Shrama. That's all is the difference. Because in Malayalam, E means this, A means that. And Shrama means, you know, it is Shrama means it is a distress or whatever, correct? You are only putting a lot of pain is there. So he says that otherwise it will become Ishramatil irundhu Ashramam. It's not really any ashrama or anything. So like that is very important. So that's why Bhashyakara has given a beautiful step by step in each ashrama what you have to do. Only after you have gained all this, now you are ready for sannyasa, means then you can dridataram karmashu santajyatam, means what you immediately firmly and resolutely give up all karma, because once you have attained sadhana chatushtaya, there is no point still doing karma and upasana and all that. It is like the baby has already grown in the womb, correct? It cannot still be there in the womb. It has to come out. Or the pupa, within the pupa only the butterfly cannot be there permanently, correct? It has to come out. Or you cannot say, I will forever be in the school. Once you have finished higher secondary, you have to go to college. In fact, some people are there forever in the college also. That also you cannot do. But as long as the state is funding, they want to simply enjoy. But anyway, so the idea is that after each stage, you have to go to the next one. So you can't be there in the, once you have achieved whatever you have to achieve in a particular stage, you have to move on to the next one. So your stop has come, you have to get down from the bus, like that. So you now leave all the karma, upasana and all that, you have to take sannyasa. That he says as dridataram karmashu santyajyatam. So you give up all the things very well, you give it up. And then what? Here Bhashyakara is talking about vividisha sannyasa, like I told you. Vividisha means with a desire to know. Okay, so you have a desire to know. For that purpose, you are taking sannyasa. That means you are voluntarily giving up all other roles other than being a student or a teacher. Those are the only two roles for a sannyasi. And again, you become a teacher only if there is a student, correct? Otherwise, sannyasi is not clamoring for students also. Understand that. No guru is really clamoring for students, but they are very happy if a qualified student comes, everybody is happy to teach. But if there is no pressure or anything even if a sannyasi has such a pressure, then that's a problem. That's a different problem, right? Some people think that you are a successful sannyasi only if you have a big ashrama, a lot of students are there. That is a different kind of samsara then. Really speaking, sannyasi doesn't care, in fact, in the sense that they don't think that only if you have many students and all that, something is there. If students are there, of course, everybody is happy to teach, happy to share whatever they know, correct? Whatever vision, whatever they have gained, everyone wants to share that. But there is no pressure to teach or anything. Anyway, so once you have taken sannyasa for the purpose of Atman Jnanam, then you have to go and approach a guru. And what kind of a guru? That Mundakopanishad says, correct? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. That is very important. You have to go to a person who is Shrotriya, means what? He himself has heard from another guru. That means don't go to anybody who is apneya. My Guruji used to say, those who are apneya means what? They simply claim that they are guru one fine day. Okay, they may be accomplished in some field and all that. We don't want to discuss all that. But they will not be able to teach you properly. Because unless you have learned from your guru, you have not learned how to teach. That is the most important thing for you to have students. Means you should not only know the subject matter, you should know the methodology to teach it. Because here the methodology is very important, because what you are teaching is subtle, correct? You are teaching something which is not very easy to describe. I have already told you, correct? So we have to use a methodology called Adhyaropa Apavada. Adhyaropa Apavadabhyam Nishprapancham Prapanchate. That is the saying. So whatever is not a meaning of any one word, whatever is not even an object of your mind, you have to teach that still through words only. Words are the only means of knowledge. Words are our mirror. Because whenever we want to see the subject, for example, eyes cannot see itself, correct? Eyes are seeing everything else, but eyes cannot see itself. If you want to see the eye, what will you do then? You have to go and stand in front of a mirror, correct? There is no other way. You cannot say, if you want to see the eye, why are you looking outside? Turn your eyes inside and look at itself means. That's not possible. The subject can never become the object. So you have to look at the mirror only. Like that, Shastra is looked upon as a Darpana in our tradition. Right? It's called Shastra Darpana exactly because it is showing your reality to yourself. Only from the words of the Shastra, you can know who you are really. And of course, the words of the Shastra are coming through your Guru. That's why you have to go to a Shrotriyam Guru, means one who has learned the Shastra properly from his own Guru. Those who do not have any Guru, don't go near them. They may be great people, you can do Namaskara and come back. But you cannot go and learn anything from them. It will not be worthwhile. Or they will make everything mystic. There is nothing mystic in Vedanta, understand that. It is not about some special experience or anything like that also. You don't require any special experience. Of course, if you do a lot of upasana, dhyana and all that, some experience and all will come. We are not denying that. But that's not the goal, nor that is going to change you fundamentally in any way. In fact, it may get hooked up to that experience also. You will be all the time sitting, waiting for some experience then. That's not going to help you. Here we are talking about the nature of the experiencer, correct? It's not about any particular experience. What is the nature of the experiencer? That has to be understood clearly. In fact, all wrong notions about that experiencer has to go away. That is the jnanam we are talking about. And that can be gained only by proper study. The study also cannot be like some hobby. Understand that it has to be sustained day-to-day study over a period of time. That's how you master any subject, correct? Even if you want to be a Nobel level physicist, let us say, that cannot just come like that. You have to spend years studying in different universities, doing the doctoral work or postdoctoral work and all that. Like that, if for Aparavidya itself it is like that, then what about Paravidya? We call this as Paravidya, correct? This is the ultimate knowledge. This is Paravidya. And for Paravidya, you have to correspondingly so much effort also you should be ready to put. So you have to go to a guru who is Shrotriya and also who is Brahmanishtha, means one who is committed to his lifestyle also reflects that knowledge. One who is established in that knowledge, for whom this knowledge is always available, that means. Or one who does not have any agenda for you or not manipulate. A guru cannot manipulate the Shishya also. Because it's very easy. Because the Shishyas repose all their trust and Shraddha in you, means it's very easy to manipulate them. So the guru should not be manipulative. That's very important. Then only the guru is Brahmanishtha. If the guru is still manipulating me, means he still has a small ego. Understand that. He cannot be. The Brahmanishtha means one who is limitless, one who knows himself as this limitless conscious being, means from there the whole thing has to come. And also one who teaches has to be his knowledge. Otherwise, the teaching will not be effective. Any teaching, for it to be effective, that knowledge should be your knowledge, correct? Then only you can communicate it to others. And then it has to be made into others' knowledge also. Then it becomes your own knowledge. Then you can become a guru and teach it to others. So for the purpose of teaching, it has to be your knowledge. So for the person, a Brahmanishtha means for that knowledge is his knowledge, is available. It is not like a guru cannot say, okay, Upanishad is saying Tattvamasi. That's not the idea, correct? It's not hearsay or it's not even factual knowledge. Understand that. When we are studying Vedanta, we are not collecting different facts like there are 3 shariras, 5 koshas, all these things. Of course, we do talk about it because it's all part of the methodology of teaching. But the focus is not on all those details. It is about yourself. How are you seeing yourself when the guru is talking about you in the class? Are you able to see yourself in the same light or not? In the light of the words of the guru and the shastra, you are able to see yourself then and there. That seeing is what is meant by Shravana. When you are listening to the guru, you are seeing yourself in the light of the words of the guru. That is the most important thing. Everything else is secondary. It's not academic study. It's not, you are not studying for some certificate or anything. Professionally also it is the most useless thing. So you are not going to get any job saying that I studied. Of course, maybe you may get some job in some Sanskrit university or something if you have the academic qualifications, but even that is not the goal. What I am saying is, so for this you have to go to a Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Guru only. You cannot go to Sanskrit college also and study Vedanta. They may also be able to teach Vedanta course, but they will teach it academically, which will lose that major thing in that is that it has to come from a guru who has this knowledge as his or her knowledge. Then only it is effective. It cannot be some indirect knowledge or like somebody else is saying like that. If somebody teaches also, they will make it into philosophy. It is as though a speculation. For the Veda to operate as a means of knowledge, it cannot be a philosophy or speculation of somebody, correct? Speculatively, somebody can say, okay, Mundaka Upanishad is saying this, Kaivalya Upanishad is saying this, means it's not going to make much difference. Understand that. So that's why the Upanishad itself says, Sa Gurumeva Abhigachet, Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. And there Śaṅkarācārya also says, even if you think you are a Pandita, Panditopi, Swatantriyena, Atmanveshanam na kurya. Do not do the Atma Vichara by yourself. Even though you think you are a Pandita, you have a lot of knowledge of different disciplines and all that, go to a guru. Why I am saying this is, there is also a popular notion, Ramana itself is a problem in this. Because they all say Ramana Did Ramana have any guru? There are always exceptions, correct? Any rule has exception. In fact, this is nothing new. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad itself, in the beginning of the fourth Brahmana of the first chapter, Prajapati is there. Okay? Prajapati finds himself alone because he is the only one initially in the creation. Nobody else is there. Then he is afraid also. Then he realizes, see, I am the only one, there is nobody else, there is no Bhaya Karanam. And then he feels okay. There, Śaṅkarācārya says, he has gained self-knowledge, because only from self-knowledge you can gain abhayam. You become fearless. So Prajapati has gained this self-knowledge, like that Śaṅkarācārya writes commentary. Then the Purva-Pakshi comes and asks, where was the guru for Prajapati? You say that you have to study the Shastra, you need a guru and all that. Where the Prajapati didn't have any guru, how did he gain this knowledge? By himself. You are going against your own, whatever you are proposing and all that. And Shankara says, see, Prajapati Upadhi is a very special Upadhi. Prajapati Sharira and whatever is there, it has come due to lot of karma and upasana in the Purva Janma. So you cannot take that as a rule. That is an exceptional case. And because of the Prajapati's Upadhi only, the Prajapati gained this knowledge. Even for that, in the Purva Janma only, he has done whatever has to be done, so that this knowledge can take place now. So you cannot take that as a Vidhi or anything like that. So normally, everybody has to go to a guru. There is no doubt about that. In fact, in many places, Ramana also says that you have to go to a guru, or guru will appear, he says. That is also true to an extent, because to get the right guru is the greatest blessing, correct? Many times when we are seekers, we don't know who is the right guru. If you end up in the wrong place also, it is a problem. And your whole life will go away, in fact, many times. So, that guru will come means, right guru you have got means, that is a great punya, in fact. We cannot attribute it to anything else. That's why even that bhakti, Dhrida bhakti and all is very important, because that punya alone will give you the right guru also. And you have to go to a guru to study the Shastra. Sadvidvan upasripyatam. So you go to a guru, a vidvan. Sadvidvan means, here again we can take the Sadvastu itself. One who knows Brahman. Sat here is Sadeva Saumya Idamagre Asit Ekameva Advitiyam, like that. Sadvidya is there in the Chandogya Upanishad. So Brahman only is known as Sat also. That is the Sadvastu, which is the Karanam of everything. And Sadvidvan means one who, Brahmavit only here, one who knows Brahman. Such a guru you approach. And again, this is said in the Gita and Chandogya also, Acharyavan Purusho Veda, it is there. Okay, Mundaka Upanishad says, Sa Gurumeva Abhigacche. Then in the Gita, Bhagavan says, in fact, we will see in the fourth chapter only, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Okay, so he says you go to a guru to learn that Tadvidhi pranipat, Tadvidhi, know about this Brahma Vastu. How? Pranipatena, you go and take refuge. Do namaskara to your guru and take refuge in your guru. Pariprashnena, again you have discussions with your guru, samvada. And then sevaya also. You have to be ready to do seva to the guru. In fact, the Chandogya Upanishad story, there is a story. Indra and Virochana and all, they go to Prajapati. Then Prajapati says, do seva for 32 years. So they are all doing seva. After that, he gives one word as Upadesha. Then, like that, there is a story is there. Indra, then another 30, then Virochana, after first instruction only he goes, thinking that the body is the Atma, he is Asura Guru. So he is the Asura king, correct? Virochana goes. But Indra still has doubt. How can this body be Atma? Then he comes back another 32 years. Then another 32 years. After that, another 6 years or something. So total 102 years he did Gurukula Vasa. And we have to assume it is Deva Varshas also, not even Manushya Varsha. So many years they have to do seva to gain this knowledge. So all these stories are there only to say that You have to have the right attitude, you have to do seva to the Guru, and then they will teach. Upadeshyanti te jnanam. In fact, here, Madhvacharya, I was so surprised. Madhvacharya says, Upadeshyanti te ajnanam. Here also he uses grammar, te, and he puts on avagraha there, and says, Upadeshyanti te ajnanam. Why should anybody teach ajnanam? I don't know. They have some interpretation like that. So, Upadeshyanti te jnanam. So, they will teach you this jnanam. Upadeshyanti te jnanam. Jnaninas tattvadarshina. Those who are jnani and tattvadarshis, whatever they are seeing, however they are seeing themselves, they will give that vision to you also. They will teach you. That is the idea here. In fact, that's what here Shankara is saying, Tat Paduka Sevyatam. So that seva one has to do, he says that you do the seva to your Guru Paduka, means you do seva to your Guru, Tat Paduka Sevyatam. And then by doing this seva, what do you know? Brahmaika Aksharam Athyatam. So you gain this knowledge of this Aksharam Brahma. Brahman alone is Aksharam really. That is the one imperishable, unchanging reality. There is even an Akshara Brahmanam in Brihadaranyaka also. There, the word Akshara is used as Brahma Lakshanam in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There is a separate Brahmana. There is one section where the Brahman is taught as Aksharam. Because there, the analysis is that they keep on analyzing what is the cause. What is the cause of water? What is the cause of Agni? What is the cause of Akasha? Like that, it keeps on going. Up to Brahmaloka also they go. Then they say, where does this Brahmaloka reside or where is it supported? What of Protaha? Like that, it keeps on going. So where is the warp and woof of this Brahmaloka? Means see, clothes have a warp and woof, correct? You have one yarn going like this, another yarn going the other way. One is called warp, another is called woof. So your cloth is nothing but warp and woof only, correct? Warp and woof makes up your cloth, means that is the cause. Like that, they keep on asking, what is the warp and woof of this? What is the warp and woof of this? Like that, it keeps on going. Finally, you go up to Brahmaloka. Then for Brahmaloka also, then they ask. Then they say that it is this, then it is Ishvara only, correct? It is the Akasha. Like that, the Akasha has a technical meaning there. And then they say that the Akasha also or Ishvara also has his warp and woof only in this Aksharam Brahma, which is Nirgunam Brahma. So that Brahman is yourself. That's what you have to understand. Because that yes, Sakshad Aparokshad Brahma, yes, Sarvantaratma, like that it is said. This Brahman, it is Sakshad Aparokshad means you know that without any intervening means of knowledge. I already told you, correct? If I ask you, are you there? How did you know that? Means you don't have to use any means of knowledge, any mind or anything to know I am there. That is the Sakshatvam of Brahman is that. And it is also Aparokshat means, actually Bhashyakara takes the meaning as Mukyam Brahma, because in the Veda itself, the Sagunam Brahma also is there. Mano Brahmeti, like Mano Brahmeti Upasita, like that and all. There are sections where Brahman is figuratively used. Here he says Brahman is Mukyam Brahma, the whatever the Nirgunam Brahma, Sarvakaranam Brahma. That Brahman only you have to understand. Brahmaksharam Arthyatam. So you understand this Brahman from the teaching of the Guru and the Shastra. So that also he says Shruti Shiro Vakyam Samakarnyatam. So whatever the Shruti Vakya, here Shiro Vakya means Mahavakya, we have to take it. Shiro Karnyatam, Samakarnyatam means what? You listen to that. Shravanam is talked about here. So you do Shravanam and then understand the meaning of whatever the Vakya which the Guru is teaching you. So up to the Shravanam we have seen here, then he will continue with Mananam and Nidhyasanam also, that we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.